Hello and welcome back to another karma review. Well, not just a review, kind of a sort of a guide from a new player's perspective to other new players. I'm not quite new, but I'm still a newbie at the game. So in this one we're going to be reviewing my second favorite karma, which is in my main karma slot at the moment. The Dance of Wind, or the Bow karma as some people call it. This karma is a range karma in the first place, so you won't be going up close and personal, you're going to be staying far away and dealing damage that way. This doesn't have as much burst as Dual Soul, obviously. That's the burstiest karma in the game. This relies on a steady stream of damage, staggers, and kiting your opponent, playing with your food. When pulled off correctly, you can basically 100 to 0 somebody, especially when you take into account your secondary karma, whatever you have equipped there. Usually a breaker for protection. Like, you'd want a breaker for protection because you're ranged, and if a Dual Soul, for example, jumps on you. Oh yeah, this karma has a really big weakness, like the mage as well, which we're gonna get to in another video. Dual Soul one-shots you, literally. If they pull off their combo correctly, you die. So keep that in mind, please. Also, now let's get to a brief overview of the skills. So when you first get the karma, I should also mention this karma is available to new players when they first make their character. It's this karma alongside Sortalia. It doesn't really matter which one you choose, like when you first make your character, because you're gonna be getting the other one regardless. You should be getting the other one regardless. So that's pretty whatever. Right, so the skills that it comes with are Raining Arrows, Storming Arrow, Siege Mode, these are the standard skills, and Great Spirit's Descent as your unique karma crystal. And the passive skills, again, this one is the best, Energy of Wind, and these two can work, but if you don't use this, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage against somebody who's actually using this. Because remember, every other karma has a flat stat increase, and if you don't use yours, you're at a flat disadvantage, which is really bad, obviously. Alright, those are the basic skills from your chase NPC guy. Well, she's a gal. It's the elf with big tits. I think her name is Liar. Yeah, it's Liar. You get Spirit Arrow, Binding Arrow, and Salvo Arrows as 3 alternate standard skills. And as a unique karma crystal, you also get Great Archer's Soul from her, which is basically, it's pretty much the same thing as the Dual Soul's Soul Blade. You basically go into steroid mode and just chop everybody apart with your arrows. Right, that's probably gonna do it for this segment of the video. Now we should get into the clips, the skill clips. Alright then, your first skill, or well, the first skill you're gonna have equipped in your E slot is Raining Arrows. You basically do this pose, you select a target area and you hold left click, and arrows rain from the sky, damaging your opponent and staggering them somewhat. One tip that I can give you with this skill is to position yourself correctly far away from any other melee characters or any other characters in general. Your other basic skill is Storm Arrow. You basically fire a couple of arrows and they knock you back. This skill is really useful when you're running away from somebody, when you're trying to kite somebody, and in general it's just a really solid skill. It's not so much the damage part about this skill that's useful as the stagger that it gives and the fact that you yourself get knocked back a bit. Your final starting skill is named Siege Mode, and basically you plant yourself into the ground, becoming immobile, and each shot you fire is basically a charge shot. You hold left click and it deals massive damage. This skill is not recommended for PvP usage. Now, your first ultimate skill, or unique karma crystal skill, Great Spirit's Descent, allows you to summon a giant eagle traveling in a straight line for a long distance, dealing massive damage to anything that it comes across. In PvE, this skill also instantly breaks enemies' armor. In PvP, this skill pretty much kills anybody from half health and knocks them down. Binding Arrow is the first skill that you actually get from Lyre, I'm pretty sure about it. And basically what it does, you fire off in a zone, and that zone deals damage to enemies and slows them. Hence the name Binding Arrow. The slower is really, really strong. This skill doesn't have many uses in PvE, but in PvP it allows you to kite well, it allows you to pick out opponents, it allows you to catch opponents off guard, and in general, it's just a really, really useful skill. Alright, I'm pretty sure the second skill that you get from Lyre is Homing Arrow, or Crystal Arrow as they named it, and this skill is pretty much Homing Arrow. You launch it, and as long as you're decently aiming at your target like this, you're pretty much always gonna hit them, because the arrow will just always path its way towards them. The final skill that you get from Lyre is final non-unique armor crystal skill, so non-ultimate skill that you get from Lyre is named Salvo Arrows. I hope I pressed the right key. And basically what you do is, for the next 3 aimed shots or charged shots, you don't fire 1 shot, you fire 3 or 4. You fire a shit ton of shots basically. But it's only for the next 3 charged shots. See, I already fired 2 and now I'm starting to fire regular arrows. This skill again doesn't have many uses because it's a charge skill, and while you're charging your skill, people may jump upon you. So it's a fun skill to use, but I won't recommend it in PvP. The unique armor crystal that you get from Lyre, named Great Archer Soul, basically imbues you with power, making you run faster, shoot at a really, really high fire rate, making your charge rate really, really quick, and also increasing your damage by about 25% if I'm not wrong. This allows you to basically 100 to 0 somebody with ease, because they're just never gonna get knocked down because of how fast you shoot. You see? And yeah, that's pretty much it for this skill. Alright, now that we've seen all the individual skills of the Dance of Wind Karma, let's get into some builds. The first build here that I have in front of me is a PvP build, because this game is mainly PvP oriented, and it basically revolves around kiting your opponent, making them chase you, and you just basically damaging them from distance. We have exciting skills such as Binding Arrow to slow down your opponent and shoot at them, Storming Arrow in case they catch up and you need to generate some space, and Raining Arrows, which basically you can just stagger your opponent from afar with this. It's pretty fucking useful. I've only added this recently to my build because, as you can see, it's just level 2. I used to run Siege mode for some reason, but I never used it, so don't run Siege mode in PvP, that's all I can tell you. Run either Raining Arrows or Spirit Arrow, which is the homing one. Don't be stupid, don't be me. Salvo Arrow is also pretty useless, never actually ran it. As for the unique karma crystal of this build, it doesn't really matter. I like egos so I can turn 2v1s into actual kills sometimes. But Great Archer Soul can also work really, really well. But I just find this way more reliable, because by the time you're gonna actually get to use your ultimate, you're gonna be really, really low, and you're gonna basically die. With this, you can, if you die, you at least guarantee a kill. Somewhat, unless you're horrible like me. Passive skill, manage your wind. Sub-karmas, decrease cooldown, at least one of them, it's essential. And yeah, that's about it for this build. This is mainly PvP build, as I said earlier. Now, the second build that I'm going to be showcasing is going to be a PvE build. This build works best if you have a breaker buddy or if you yourself are a breaker. And it basically relies around big arrows and big damage. Hence we have Siege mode for the biggest damage, Salvo Arrows for more big damage, and Raining Arrows, Mind you, either one of these can be swapped for Spirit Arrow, if you like. Passive skill here, you can run whatever the heck you want, since this is going to be a PvE build. But still, this provides the most damage from what I can see. And in your unique armor crystal, you're going to want Great Spirit Descent, or Eagle, some people call that. This in PvE is not really useful, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you shoot faster, but this build is not reliant on basic attacks. This build is reliant on big burst damage, which it delivers. Reason this build doesn't work in PvP is because this is a channeled skill, this is a channeled skill, and this is a channeled skill. What does that mean? That you're gonna get fucked in the ass, that's what it means. So whatever you do, don't take this build in PvP. Keep it PvE. That's about the best advice I can give you with this build. Fuck it. Alright, now that we've discussed skills, we've discussed builds for the Dance with Karma, let's discuss some combos. First of all, the basic attack combo, the most basic combo, mash left click. This is your brand bar, but it's not as important as the second one, which is click, right click, click. Which basically allows you to kite your opponent really well, because the second shot is a staggering shot, and the third shot is a semi-staggering shot. And this one is the one that I use mostly, and it basically allows you to play with your opponent for quite a bit. As you can also see in the lower left, I have the PvP build equipped, because in PvE you're not going to be using basic attacks that much, because in PvE you're going to be running a really high damage build that's stationary, so you're not going to be getting close to your opponent, or your boss enemy. That's one thing. Another really useful combo is this one, which is basically space, click, click, wait, and hold left click. Space, click, click, hold left click. This combo is really cool because it gets you off the ground for one, and for a second, every single shot after the wait period staggers your opponent. The other really cool combos are this. This is your aim shot. I wouldn't recommend using it in this form, because this form doesn't deal that much damage and it's really risky, but in this form, it's basically aim shot. You press a movement key twice. This is one of your strongest tools in your arsenal, and it basically knocks your opponent back, knocks you back, which is really important, and it deals obscene damage. So if you can time this perfectly, as with your opponent charging at you, you're gonna molest their day. I'll tell you that much. Other than that, also I should mention that this karma is the only one that gets double jump. It does consume stamina, keep that in mind, but you can double jump to avoid some stuff, and it also has a combo of its own, as you can see, which is jump, jump, click. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Yep. There's also a multi-shit combo on the ground, which I can't seem to pull off. Nope. The one is jump works just fine. There we go. This is the multi-shit on the ground. Not as useful as this one, because again, on the ground, you're gonna be stationary on ground, which is really bad, and it opens you up to some really nasty stuff. As in the air, you're not gonna get fucked that hard. You're still gonna get fucked if you're out of position. My biggest tip is when doing Dance of Ground is position correctly. Always have the high ground, as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say. That's pretty much it for combos. Another really cool combo is, well, it's not much a combo, it's using your skills. Binding Arrow, they're slowed, and you do this one, and you pretty much guarantee a hit on them if you do it fast enough. And then do that. I did not do it there fast enough. Fuck me, I can't even talk. Anyhow, that's gonna do it for the combos. As you can see, this combo is pretty basic. It doesn't have many combos, but those that it does have are essential to its power functionality. So, yep. Let's get to the next segment. Alright, since Windows Update decided to fuck my recording of the final thoughts segment, this is take 2. So, final thoughts. First of all, pick your targets. Never go up against Fist or Dual Soul. They will fuck you up. You against Sword Talia is a matchup of skill. Whoever's better at their karma wins. And you against yourself. So basically, now I got using that as a win. It's all about whoever shoots first, as long as the player are on equal skill footing. If you're way better than your opponent and he shoots first, you might as well beat him. If your opponent is way better than you and you shoot first, he's gonna shit on you, basically. Second of all, always have one of these off cooldown and have enough mana to use one of these. I recommend keeping this one off cooldown because this one is a lifesaver. If you get jumped, you die. It's that simple. On this karma, you're really squishy, and you're also really mobile. You don't have a shit ton of mobility like the dual soul, and you don't have a stealth. So pretty much getting jumped by either big sword fists or dual soul means a death sentence. Also, know when to use this. Use this either at the beginning of the match when everybody's spread out and you know you're not gonna get jumped, or use this when you know your opponents are way too far away to jump you. Knowing when to use this is essential. If you don't feel comfortable with using this, just replace it with Spirit Arrow. Spirit Arrow is a much safer choice, but it deals way less damage, and it's way less useful, but it's safe. As in for equipment, choose whatever the fuck you like. Choose whatever makes you look cool, because as I said in my previous video, looking cool is being cool. Well, I didn't say quite that in my last video, but I guess parting words have to be a bit different, so I'm gonna end it on that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, why not drop a like, and also subscribe. But let's be real, nobody fucking watches these.